Sometimes, life has a way of showing us two completely different realities. And that day, Leo saw a world so different from his own, one he had only imagined in his dreams. A few days after the coffee incident, Ethan invited Leo over to his house. At first, Leo hesitated. His mum always told him not to bother rich people. But Ethan was so friendly, and the idea of visiting a mansion, he couldn't resist. So that afternoon, Ethan's driver picked up Leo and brought him to the Anderson estate. Leo's jaw dropped the moment they arrived.
Whoa, this is your house?
It was more than just a house. It was a palace. Tall gates, a massive fountain, and a driveway so long it felt like a road by itself. Ethan laughed.
Yeah, I guess it's kinda big.
As they walked inside, Leo's eyes darted everywhere. Shiny floors, golden chandeliers, and walls decorated with paintings. That looked more expensive than anything he had ever seen. A maid approached.
Welcome, young Master Ethan. Your father is in his study.
Leo's eyes widened.
You have a maid? Like a real one?
Ethan shrugged.
Yeah, but they're more like family. Come on, let's go to my room.
When they got upstairs, Leo was shocked all over again. Ethan's room was bigger than his entire apartment. There were shelves filled with books, the latest gaming setup, and even a basketball hoop inside.
You actually live here?
Ethan grinned.
Yeah, but honestly, sometimes it gets kinda lonely.
Leo couldn't believe it. How could someone with everything still feel lonely? Just then, a deep voice called from downstairs.
Ethan, come to my office.
Ethan sighed.
That's my dad. I'll be right back. You can play whatever you want.
As Ethan left, Leo walked around, touching things carefully. Everything was so clean, so perfect. It didn't feel real. Then, his eyes landed on a framed family photo on Ethan's desk. Mr. Anderson was in the center, looking serious. Ethan stood beside him, smiling, but there was no mother in the picture. Leo frowned.
Where's his mom?
Before he could think more about it, a voice interrupted.
Wow, you must be the little guest Ethan's been talking about.
Leo turned around to see Mr. Anderson standing at the door, watching him carefully. Leo gulped. He wasn't sure why, but something about Mr. Anderson made him nervous.
Come downstairs, kid. Let's have a little talk.
And just like that, Leo was about to step into a world far more complicated than he had ever imagined. Leo hesitated as he followed Mr. Anderson downstairs. His footsteps felt heavy against the polished marble floor. He had never been in a house this fancy before, let alone speaking to someone as intimidating as Ethan's father. When they reached the study, Mr. Anderson gestured for Leo to sit. Behind him, tall bookshelves lined the walls, and in the center of the room was a massive desk, stacked with papers and documents. Mr. Anderson sat down and folded his hands. His eyes studied Leo carefully.
So, you're Ethan's new friend?
Leo nodded quickly.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Anderson raised an eyebrow.
And where do you live?
Leo shifted uncomfortably. He wasn't sure why this man was asking so many questions, but he didn't want to seem rude.
In an apartment, sir. With my mom.
Mr. Anderson leaned back.
No father?
Leo shook his head.
No, sir. It's just us.
For a moment, Mr. Anderson didn't say anything. Then he let out a small sigh.
You know, Ethan's mother left us when he was young. She said this life wasn't for her, that I worked too much, that I wasn't home enough.
He paused before adding,
Ethan never talks about her.
Leo's eyes widened.
I didn't know.
Mr. Anderson nodded.
That's because he doesn't want people to pity him. He has everything money can buy. But he doesn't have a mother, and
He hesitated.
I'm trying to be a father, but sometimes I wonder if I'm just another businessman to him.
Leo didn't know what to say. All this time, he had thought Ethan had the perfect life. But now, it didn't seem so perfect after all. Just then, Ethan appeared at the door.
Dad, what are you doing? You're not scaring my friend, are you?
Mr. Anderson chuckled.
Not at all, just getting to know him.
Ethan rolled his eyes and grabbed Leo's arm.
Come on, let's go back upstairs.
As they left the study, Leo glanced back at Mr. Anderson. For the first time, he didn't see a powerful businessman. He saw a father, one who didn't know how to connect with his son. That night, when Leo returned home, he found his mom in the kitchen, humming softly as she prepared dinner. The apartment was small, cluttered with books and laundry, but it was warm. It was home. "Hey, sweetie," his mom greeted. "How was your day?" Leo smiled.
It was eye-opening.
He realized then he might not have riches, but he had something just as valuable. A mother who was always there, a home filled with love. And maybe, just maybe, that was the real wealth in life.